Hey everyone, it's Paige Evans, and I'm so excited to share this layout guest designing with Altenew. I love their products. They are so colorful and fun and whimsical, and I am excited to be working with it. So I die cut this floral background from this rainbow paper, and as is, it didn't jive with me, so I thought about deconstructing the flowers and turning them into their own embellishments. So the first step I needed to do then was to cut out each individual flower. I didn't use the tiny flowers or the leaves from this die cut, and I will include a link to the die cut from the Silhouette store. But now I love how these flowers look. They're so colorful and fun and ready to be embellished further. I used spray adhesive to attach all of the flowers to a piece of vellum and then cut them out once again. And this just helps the flowers stand out from the background even more. Otherwise, the background paper would just show through those gaps, but the vellum tones it down a little bit. Now I am dividing them into piles of color, and I'm going to use my sewing machine and different colors of thread to stitch colors through like colors. So where it's pink, I'm going to stitch through pink, and if there's red on the same flower or orange on the same flower, I'm going to switch colors of thread and stitch with orange. So I stitched all with the same color first and then switched the thread, and yeah, it took a while, but I really love the texture and the color that it adds to these flowers. I left the threads long at first, but then I decided it was too messy, so I did trim the threads mostly. There's still a little bit of threads hanging off, but it wasn't as crazy as it was. This is the pattern paper that I've chosen for my background. It's a nice thin black and white striped paper, and I am applying a layer of gesso to the background because I know I want to do some watercoloring, and this will help the watercolors stay on the background. It's just a nice thin layer, and I like the texture this adds. I saw Missy Whidden do this technique with an acrylic block in watercolors. It wasn't really creating as much color as I wanted to though, so I switched to the packaging technique. So I splashed and applied watercolors directly onto a regular piece of packaging, plastic packaging, and then smushed it or smudged it onto the background. Tried to mix colors that matched the flowers, matched that pattern paper. So we've got a bright pink, orange, yellow, aqua, blue. To make that light pink, I had to add a little bit of white acrylic paint. That's how I generally get a lighter pink, since the pink that's included in this set is still a little too bright. Now most of this background does get covered up by the flowers, but you can still see it peeking through the edges, and even a little bit of it comes through the vellum. So it's just another layer of texture, another layer of color. And let's be honest, it was fun to make, so that's what it's all about. The process of scrapbooking is what gives me joy. So I'm placing the flowers. I placed the largest ones first, and then I'm adding the little ones on top and tucking them underneath. I took a photo of it, and then I adhered them with dimensional adhesive. I have this kind of homemade photo strip of Jane, and I turned it black and white so it matches the black and white background. And then these sentiment acetate words are going to be the title, and I layered the biggest one right over and then tucked the other two under the right side. I went around the outside of the flowers and added like an epoxy wood button to the center of some of the flowers. And then I'm trimming the leaves from these flower die cuts and taking out the inner pieces and tucking them underneath the photo strip. So it just helps to create a nice focal point, having the title and these leaves tucked underneath, so your eye goes right there to the photos first. Adding one more leaf to help balance it. It feels a little unbalanced right now, but I think with one more leaf down at the bottom right, it will look complete. Magic. Once I adhered everything in place, I did my journaling, and it was nice because these printed lines already act like journaling lines, so I just went right over it and wrote my journaling with a .01 black precision pen. I think I only did 3 rows, journaling about these silly photos of Jane. She's something. Using the Altenew date stamp, roller date stamp, I stamped the date that these photos were taken. That will help me file this away when I do put it into a scrapbook album. So I'm so excited for this opportunity to guest design with Altenew, and I hope you check out their amazing scrapbooking products. See you again next time.